Good morning, Westlake Chaparrals. My name is Keith Liverprabhu, and I'm an Eagle Scout and the Chief of Staff on Westlake Student Council. I will act as your MC today as we gather to honor our nation's veterans. This year, we are honoring our veterans via video because the Chaparral Marching Band is representing us at the state marching competition. Go Chaps! With the help of the Westlake Technical Entertainment crew, we have recorded this special performance. To show the utmost respect for our country's bravest, please silence all electronic devices and refrain from talking for the duration of this performance. With that, audience members, please rise and remove all hats. Please join me in reciting the United States Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for our American national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by the award-winning Westlake Madrigals.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glance bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free?
Thank you. Audience at ease, please take a seat. Now welcome Westlake Student Body President Libby Fitzgerald for some opening words.
Good morning, Westlake Chaparrals. Thank you for gathering here today to honor a very important day in our nation's history, Veterans Day. Today, we stand together to recognize the incredible courage, dedication, and sacrifices of the men and women who have served and who continue to serve in our military. Veterans Day isn't just a day on the calendar. It's a powerful reminder of those who have given so much to protect our freedom and ensure our safety. This day is also an opportunity for us to reflect on the values that veterans embody: bravery, commitment, and selflessness. As we go through today's assembly, please keep in mind the many stories, faces, and families behind each uniform, and let's allow their courage to inspire us, no matter where we are or what we pursue in our lives.
Thank you. Now enjoy this video produced by Student Council and Westlake Film that gives you an insight on how you, as a school student, can engage in civic responsibility to support your community.
Well, you young Americans.
Dear young Americans,
If I had advice to give to young Americans today, I would say,
The future is going to be in your hands.
Dear young Americans,
find some way to serve your community and your country.
dear young American,
understand that no matter what is going on around you, that you are there living life with an opportunity to be a positive person, a positive moment, a positive thing for someone else around you or for your environment. I was almost killed on August 8, 2012. And it really almost took that moment, and really during my recovery, that reality to understand that I need to be more appreciative of every single moment that I have in my life. And that means being a better person to my family, being a better person to my wife, to my friends, to my coworkers, to my community. That means not thinking about myself first, but really the most important thing is to appreciate the fact that I'm still here with an opportunity to do something good and impact others.
Dear young American, when I left high school and was going to college, I said goodbye, Mom and Dad. I didn't say thank you for getting me here. As I've gotten older, I find myself saying thank you to a lot more people than I did when I was younger. I've come to a much deeper appreciation that I didn't get to where I am really by myself, but only through a lot of efforts of other people, younger and older now, that enabled me to try, to work through, to fail, to pick myself up and try again. And so I find myself saying thank you.
Dear young American, if I had to give one piece of advice, I would definitely say to the young people of any age, it's that, we all have way more in common with each other than anything that would divide us, whether it's, something as small as a high school rival or somebody from a different state or a different political party or a different country. Everything that binds us as Americans and humans, there's way more that brings us together than divides us. And I know it's hard to see that sometimes when concerned with your small little part of the world, but when you kind of take a step back from yourself and see the whole world, I think you gain a lot of value in that and gain more respect for what people are going through and how best to help make the world a little bit better than when you got here.
Dear young American, ask yourself the question, who am I? And then live up to the standards: courage, commitment, sacrifice, integrity, citizenship, and patriotism. And so I would just ask you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I proud of what I'm seeing? Do I have the courage to do the right thing, the right time, under the right circumstances? Am I willing to sacrifice my comfort for someone else's comfort? Am I willing to be a person with integrity? Integrity is the most important word in the English language. Never lose your integrity. No one can take your integrity from you. You have to give up your integrity. Be honest, be truthful, just be a good citizen.
Please welcome the Westlake Symphony Band and Orchestra to perform the Armed Forces Medley. If you or a member of your family have served, please feel free to stand when the song for their branch is played.
The United States Army. United States Coast Guard. The United States Marine Corps. The United States Air Force. The United States Navy.
Please welcome our esteemed guest speaker, Mr. Kevin Terrazas. Mr. Terrazas is an honors graduate of the United States Military Academy, West Point, and is former graduate of the U.S. Army's Ranger Airborne and Air Assault Schools. He served as captain with the 101st Airborne Division in the United States Army during Operation Iraqi Freedom, for which he was awarded the Distinguished Bronze Star Medal. After his military service, Mr. Terrazas graduated with honors from Harvard Law School and now practices at Terrazas PLLC. He is also still heavily involved with our country, currently serving as the director of the National Philanthropic Board with the American Red Cross.
Hi all, my name is Kevin Terrazas and I'm Alex's dad, and I'm privileged to be able to be with you during part of your Veterans Day presentation. I'm here to talk a little bit about my experiences in Iraq and some of the lessons that I've learned there. Number one, there's no I in team. Number two, education is important and we should encourage it. 3, all that glitters will fade away. And finally, you can have fun serving your country. First off, I want to talk to you about that there is no I in team, which means that you can do so many more things together as a team than you can individually. So you need to be nice to your classmates and others around you. I arrived in my unit about 4 days before we crossed what is called the berm. That is the border between Kuwait and Iraq. And we traveled through the country in 100 vehicle convoys, taking our supplies, about 3 to 4 people per vehicle, our ammunition, and everything that we thought we might need for the next several weeks. We were able to go throughout the entire country, all the way from Kuwait through Anajaf and Al-Hala to Baghdad, then to Tikrit, and finally in Mosul. This is an example of where we slept in Mosul. I was in a room with 5 other officers, and all we had were our cots. We had some boxes of things that people had sent to us, our bags that we put underneath our cots, and then a few boxes. It was very Spartan in terms of accommodations, but it was something that brought us together as a team. And we had some very unexpected and amazing experiences. This is a time when I was flying around in a Black Hawk helicopter and we just saw beneath us a MiG fighter jet just out in the open, just abandoned. And so we went down and took some pictures, and what we saw is there was a couple other MiG fighter jets that were actually buried in the ground. And these are the kinds of things that together as a team, someone else had spotted it, that we were able to go and see. So after the combat operations, when we finally got into Mosul, we had a mission called Stability and Support. And so what we did there is that we went around and tried to demilitarize the area and then to help fix it up in different ways. This includes trying to find people jobs, it included cleaning up the streets and other sorts of things. Well, one of the areas that we found were in schools, instead of classes, what had happened is that Saddam Hussein, the ruler at the time, had basically taken out all the school equipment and replaced it with ammunition. Things like 50 caliber rounds. Things like these, as you see here, artillery shells that are weighing 40 to 50 pounds. They're just strewn all over the place because they knew that we were probably not going to attack the schools. So instead of classes, none of the kids got to go to class, they would put these type of things there, which really made me appreciate how much we do and how much our teachers do for us in schools. And how valuable that is, because we have an entire generation of Iraqi children who weren't getting taught anything. They were basically having to just stay at home and not learn anything, and their growth was stunted. So I really appreciated what we can do and what we do, for example, at Westlake High School for our students. The next lesson is that all that glitters will fade away. This is Babylon. This is considered to be one of the 7 wonders of the world, and this is how it's been rebuilt. But what they found before they rebuilt it is this, just complete ruins. Again, an ancient civilization that was one of the biggest and one of the most well-renowned in the world at the time has now crumbled into what we see here. And that's what happens. That's what we learned whenever we were out there, is that all the things that we thought were really valuable weren't as valuable when push came to shove. Some of our soldiers were staying in a very nice hotel in Nineveh, in Mosul, an ancient city. And there was an RPG attack. and it destroyed the windows, it destroyed the doors, it destroyed, these are lockers that you see, it threw those throughout the area. And you can see this big hole from the RPG that landed there. And there was glass and everything else. And this hotel got destroyed by multiple different attacks. And we saw this over and over again throughout the countryside. All these things that were built up over all this time. Saddam Hussein, who's considered a dictator, that he had built 27 of these palaces throughout Iraq. And what we learned was that all the servants had to make sure that each one of these palaces were kept in pristine condition in the event that he might show up at any given day. And other than his main palace in Baghdad, he tended to show up to each one of these different palaces about once a year, just to have a meal and then leave. And so he had built all these things that were now just torn apart by the time we got there. There was no doors, there was no windows. Anything that wasn't completely bolted down was taken by the people. And all of these things that he just completely lost in an instant. And here's another example. This is a weapons factory that we were there. We actually stayed there for about a month. And what we found when we got there were silver and gold plated AK-47s and handguns and other sorts of types of weaponry. And we had some fun with it, but all those things, all that wealth and everything again was gone, even though it had been built up over many, many, many years. So the final lesson that I learned was that you can have fun serving your country, and it's important to do so, and it creates these bonds that never go away. So this is an example where we were eating breakfast one day in our compound in Mosul. We were staying at Uday and Qusay Hussein's party house. These are the sons of Saddam Hussein. And we are overlooking the Tigris River. And these people that you see here are people that I will never forget, that we had strong bonds of living through some of the things that were very demanding, that were very difficult, but we're able to just grow together and learn and just know that we could trust each other in a way that was just amazing. So we had a lot of time together and a lot of experiences. This is an example of what is called an NBC attack, which is a nuclear, biological, or chemical warfare that we thought might have been used. It was a Scud missile that was fired, and so we all had to don our gas masks and other protective gear. And of course, we decided to have a little bit of fun together in doing so. So we enjoyed ourselves when we could, and again, we grew together from serving our country. And I'll tell you that it was worth it. It was worth it to be able to be out there, to know that we were doing something that we needed to do to help preserve the freedoms of those around us. And we were really doing it for the people to our right and to our left. We weren't doing it for any political purpose. We weren't doing it for any cause. We were doing it for each other. And that's what serving can do. And so when you see a veteran on Veterans Day, please thank them, because they have sacrificed a lot. They have done a lot for this country to make sure that we can do the things that we do, that we can call ourselves a free nation. Thank you again so much for your time today. I wish you all the best. Happy Veterans Day.
Please welcome the Westlake Ensemble, composed of band, choir, and orchestra, to perform the song for the unsung hero for our musical finale. Please welcome Westlake Student Body Vice President Meredith McMahon.
As we come to the end of this assembly, I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to honor and remember our veterans. To our veterans on campus, Coach Gandy, Mr. Scott, and Mr. McKay, and to those in our community and across the nation, we say thank you. Thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your strength. Let us go forward inspired by your example, honoring your legacy by embracing our own responsibilities to our communities and our country. Now, here's Ella Posick performing Taps.
Thank you for attending the 2024 Westlake High School Veterans Day Assembly and honoring our veterans' valiant service. Please follow your teacher's instructions and wait for the bell for dismissal. Thank you.